Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching me from. Welcome back here, or welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be looking at the secret to profitability as a trader. You know that it's noted and it's well noted, and it's a fact that about 95% of all traders who learn how to trade fail, and only 5%, or let's say the top 10%, only make it as day traders. So what is the reason? Why is the reason that it looks easier? Everybody is talking on YouTube. People are showing you their flashy cars and their mansions and the money flowing to them, and you only start trading and you don't make profit. Or most people begin to trade, but they don't make any profit from the market. They eventually lose in the long run. What is the secret to profitability? If you are here for the first time, I'm Setowas and I'm going to be your mentor for this entire video. If you are here for the first time, just subscribe to my channel, and if you're my own subscriber, also hit the like button just to push the video through more. If you've done that, then let's begin. Okay, so day trading in a whole is, number one, overloaded. The information about day trading is so much overloaded that if you don't take care, you'll be deceived. When most people begin trading, what the first thing they think of is how to click buy, how to click sell. So maybe they learn some chart patterns, and they saw one guy talking about particular chart patterns, so they also begin to open, maybe they open their MT5 or something, and they also begin to see some chart patterns, and they also begin to trade, and they think that when they also click buy and sell, it's very easy for them to also trade and make profit out of the market. So they learn one or two strategies, and then eventually they lose their capital trading the same strategy they learned. Others will also decide to maybe attend a webinar, and after the weekend they think they are the most perfect day traders, so they will be making their next money to buy their next mansion. They start telling their families, hey, I've gotten a new job I'm coming to do, blah blah blah, and they end up blowing their account. So what is the secret? The secret is that you must know what you are doing as a trader. Trading itself is not profitable from the charts. It is not the chart pattern that makes you become profitable, but your skill as a trader. As you can see, I have begun a series here on YouTube, trading from beginner to advanced, and teaching the basic concepts. But most of you guys, I know most of you guys don't like the basic concept, but that's also where the secret is. The secret is in you knowing what you're doing in a nutshell as a trader. Training yourself as a trader, learning the basic skills. The chart is not going to make you become profitable. The profitability is not from the charts, but it's from your skill as a trader. So how do you develop these trading skills? By learning the basics. Let me give a scenario for you to see. So most people, they learn chart patterns and they think that when they trade chart patterns alone and learn how to click buy and click sell, they can become profitable. But look at something. The profitability is not in the chart patterns, but it's all in the win rate and your system you're going to use. The chart pattern just form part of your win rate. So look at something. This is a trading journal that we use to trade here on this channel. I give this trading journal to my students, and that's exactly the same trading journal I also use. From this point, you could see that we have January. I pay attention, guys. We have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So this trading journal, this trading sheet covers a whole year. In this trading sheet, you could see that, look at this one. We have monthly summation, we have the risk management, and we have the trading setups. You could see, look at this area. You could see we have the loss size you are using as a trader. We have the initial deposit that you have in your trading account. That is your trading capital. Then we have wins and we have losses. Right now, we've not entered anything. Here is the dashboard, entry board. We've not entered anything in the entry board. So you don't see any value here except the initial deposit, which is your trading capital you are using to trade as a trader. But let's assume that you are a beginner trader. So your capital is 2,000, right? Your trading capital is 2,000. And per risk management, you're supposed to risk at least 1 to 5% of your trading account, because your goal is not to trade one and win a lottery, but your goal is to trade several within the week or within the day and accumulate it within the month, and now you strike the average to make profit just like any other business. So let's assume that your trading capital is 2,000. You are a new beginner. You have small capital, $2,000 in your account. Now, which risk percentage are you going to use? Let's assume that you risk just 3% of your account. You are risking just 3% of your account. And 3% of your account is 0.003. So those of you who don't know how to calculate it, just take your calculator and calculate 0.003. So let me just pull out my calculator here and let's do it. Okay, so let's see. We have 2,000 as our initial capital, and we are supposed to risk only 3% or 4% or 5% or 1% or maybe 2%. But on average, let's try the average 3%. So 3% of 2,000, if you don't know how to calculate it, so 0.03 times 2,000, your initial capital. And the answer is $60, which means that the $60 is what you're going to risk per trade. That is your risk per capital. So as a trader, assuming that you trade and you make a loss, you lose $60. And you know, on this channel, we only trade it risk reward of what? 1:2. So if you win $60, if you lose $60, then when you are winning, you win $120. Before we continue, let me come back to the entry board. So you could see that here is the front end, and then here is the entry board. Now, each of these carries for a whole month. Can you see? That's for whole month. So at the end of the month, when we scroll back, at the end of the month, or the number of days in the month, at the end of the month, there's also another dashboard here where it calculates your profit and win ratio, profit and loss and win ratio. So let's start from January. Let's assume that you began trading in January, and January 1st, I'm not using according to the calendar, I'm just imagining. Okay? Let's say January 1st, you started trading and you made a loss. Your first trade was minus 60, which means when you lose 60. When you gain 120, right? 2 risk reward. So minus 60. Now, your next trade was, let's say, a win. Let's say 120. So you see that this system is structured in such a way that when you lose, it gives you negative or it gives you red color. When you win, it gives you green color. Let's say the second day, which is January 2nd, you traded and you had a win for the morning. And let's say somewhere in the afternoon, you took another trade, you had a loss, minus 60. And somewhere in the evening, you took another trade, or you took 3 trades within the day, so minus 60. Because as day traders, we trade within a day. So let's see. At this moment, most of you people begin to shake because you got one loss and now you got to win, and you think that these losses are going to continue. So you begin to shake. You think that the strategy is now not working again. So you begin to change your setups that you've learned. That is where most people also get it wrong. So let's see. Assuming that the next day you continue to trade the same strategy with the same rules, you got another loss again. How will you feel, guys? How will you feel? Now, you traded and you got a win. And you waited for one trade, it did not come to your entry, so you waited for nothing. Now, the next morning, you traded and you got a win. And fortunately, you got one win again. Let's say somewhere in the evening or afternoon, again, you got a loss. Now, you got a loss again in the morning, and you are asking yourself, why am I getting wins and losses? Then you got another win, and let's say the next day you traded, you got another win, and let's say you got a loss, and you got another win, and it keep going like that. So let's say the next day. So every day when you trade, you journal your trades in this dashboard. You enter it here, and it will be recorded. So let's say the next day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, we have to take off the weekend, but let's assume that just for teaching purposes. Let's continue. Let me assume that 7th was a weekend. Let's assume. So maybe you did not trade. Let's say the next day. Let's say the next day you traded and you got a loss. Your first trade was a loss, guys. Can you handle it? Let's say you got a win and you got another win. The next day, you got a loss. You waited, you did not get any trade again to trade. The next day, you got a win and you got a loss again. Then you got a win, you got a win, and you got a loss. Guys, this is the reality of trading, how we trade as day traders. You cannot evict the wins and the losses. You cannot separate the losses from the wins. Every strategy has wins and has losses. So you can even have losses on the road, minus 60 and minus 60 and minus 60. And you think your strategies are not working. Guys, your ability to go through this process and still keep trading the same strategy over and over again, that is where the profitability is. So let's admit that here we have more losses than wins, right? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 losses. So let's see the wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we have 13 wins. The question is, are we making profit? Now, the month has not ended. So let me continue. Or let's just end here. Let's say we traded for 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's add one more. Maybe one win. We have one loss. That's all. So let's say traded for 2 weeks. Okay. Or let me just continue up to 1 month. So let me just speed it up a little. So minus 60. The next day, you got 120, which is a win. The next day, minus 60 again. So now on the 16th, you got first trade was a win, second trade was a win, the third trade was a loss. On the 17th, you got a loss, you got another loss again, you got another loss again, and on the 18th, another loss again. Guys, can you handle it? Most of you can't. Then you have a win, then only one win came and you have another loss again. So what will you begin to think? But you watch and see something. You got maybe a win came and you got, oh, I'm recording a video, so you bring it and go. My bad. And there was another win, and let's say that was the only trade you got. You got another loss the next day, you got another win. So now we traded for 3 weeks. For us not to waste time, let's see. Now we have almost like more losses than wins, but is the system profitable? Let's see. When we scroll back to the end of the chart, you could see that at the end here, see, we have taken 45 trades within the month. Now, out of the 45 trades, we have 21 of them to be wins and we have 24 of them to be losses. Now, our win rate is 46% win rate, guys. 46% win rate. It's not 100% win rate. It's not 70% win rate. 46% win rate with just risk reward of 1 to 2. So here, all wins, all losses. Here is all losses, and here is all wins. Now, let's go back to the front end dashboard. So we go back and let's see what we've gotten for January. Guys, are you watching? What we've gotten for January. So you could see that January, our initial deposit was 2,000. Now, for all the trades we took, all wins put together, we made 2,520. All losses put together, we made 1,440. Our profit is $1,080. Why did we make profit whilst there were more losses than wins? Because the risk reward is 1:2. So even despite the fact that we were going through losses, we kept going until the end of the month. And now we can clearly see that we made profit of what? 1,080. Guys, can you see? Though the win rate was just 48%, right? 46% win rate. But we still made profit out of this trade because we had risk reward of 1:2. So the ability of you, the trader, to know what you're doing, determine your profitability. It's not about the chart, guys. It's not about the chart. The chart is just part of the process, but the chart is not everything. Okay, your ability to put things together and also to keep going even when the strategy is not working. Like at this zone, you could see that there were losses, and the whole day you had losses. The next day you had one win, and the following trade was a loss again. And most of you guys will quit. And that is when you get it wrong. You quit and go and learn another strategy because you have been taught that the strategy should give you 90% or 78% or 82%. No, guys. Even if you get 50% win rate, even 40% win rate, with risk reward of 1 to 2, you can still become profitable if you stay consistent. So if you're not able to stay consistent, you cannot become profitable. So guys, you see, as a trader, your ability to go through this stress and to be patient and watch the charts and take only trades which fit your criteria, either the trading is going in your favor or against your favor, determines your success. It's not just learning how to click buy and click sell. If you don't do this, then you can't become profitable. In trading, making money is easier, but making consistent profit is the difficult part. That's when you need to go through process to become a raw trader, not somebody who just learns how to click buy and sell. Clicking buy and sell alone cannot make you become profitable. You see, some people will also learn and they learn the techniques, but still, when they got to a point where now they are facing losing streaks, now they also begin to give up. As you all saw, this setup that we just entered had more losses than wins, but yet still the system was profitable. So that's for 1 month, and we can do for February. You enter your trade February 1st, February 2nd, like that, and then for March, you go to April, and everything will be calculated here for you. And there is something here I want you to see. You see that we made profit of 1,080. Now, out of this, that's risking about 3%, getting only about 46% win rate. Out of this amount, I always tell my students that don't spend all for yourself, and at the same time, don't also leave them all in the market. You must take some profit home. When I say take home, take some and enjoy yourself because you suffered for it, or take some and use it to do something else. That's how we do business. So you could see that out of this profit, it will be shared into two, exactly two. That's what they call take home. So your take home will be 540 for the month, and then your equity brought down, which is we add the extra 500, extra half of the money to your initial balance, which now you have a capital of what 3,080. That will be your new capital you are going to use it trade for the month of February. You see, so it's a system that calculates specifically what you are supposed to do, what you did, what you can see. But most of you don't even journal. Most of you don't even journal your trades, and you still want to become profitable. How is it like? How is it profitable? Like, how is it possible? You are doing a business, you don't have a journal, you don't have an account for a business. So how are you going to become profitable? You can't become profitable. Okay, so follow these steps. It's not about the chart. It's not about the chart pattern. It's not about how many times the chart will win or how many times the chart will lose. No, it's about the system you're going to trade, the system you're going to have behind your chart patterns. The chart pattern is just about it makes about just 10% of the whole form of trading. The whole thing depends on you as a trader. You must learn to become a trader first. Now you can create any chart pattern and you can have the patience because you've gone through all the process. So guys, go home. Then, okay, if you're at work, you're watching me, go home, sit down, learn something. If you're in the house, you're watching me. After that, pause the video, learn something. Think of becoming a raw trader first before you put your money in the market, because when you lose the money, it goes directly to somebody else, guys. Your hard-earned money cannot just go to somebody else. So learn before you put your money in the market. So the secret to consistent profitability as a trader is not on the chart, it's not the chart pattern, but your system behind the chart. The chart is just the front, is the tip of the iceberg. The rest whole thing that makes you become profitable, calculating your position sizing, calculating your risk reward, and the ability to even wait and go through all the losing streak and to determine which entry is best and which entry is wrong. That's what makes you a profitable trader, not the chart patterns people show you on YouTube, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, then just hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel and come back every time to watch the video. Do us, and I'm signing out.